Hello, my name is Corey Carlson. So, three things I've learned from doing my senior project are well, the first thing is it's okay if your idea changes when you're doing your senior project. Whatever you start with doesn't have to be what you end with. If you become not passionate about your idea or find something new or something else comes up, it's okay to change. Um, and on that note, actually, you don't want to procrastinate. That's something I did do, and I would suggest doing your assignments ahead of time, not the day that they're due. And the reason I would suggest that is because then you have more time if you do want to change something that you're not going to be behind, so you'll have plenty of time to change it. You also want to start your project as soon as possible. Just doing it's really helpful. When I was doing my project at first, I it was kind of like cloudy in my head about what I was actually going to do, but then as I started doing it, it made a lot of sense like what I had to add in and what I could leave out, and it just cleared everything up. When the class gets consolidated into one quarter, it will make everything go faster, but I don't think that will be that bad of a thing actually. My project personally, I could have done it in one quarter. The reason it took three quarters is because I had three quarters. If I had to do it in one, I would have just worked faster and planned things out better. I procrastinated, I think, more because I had three quarters, so I wasn't as worried when I got through my first quarter. I didn't have everything done because I was like, I still have two more quarters. Yeah, so if you have in one quarter, you have to make sure that you plan things out really well because it's going to go fast. So your first or second week, you should have your idea and started working on it. Whereas my second week, I don't think I started working on it until like week five of my first quarter of senior project. But yes, it is possible to do a senior project in one quarter. You just have to plan things out and make sure that you stay on track. You don't want to fall behind. You won't have as much time to change your ideas, which could be good or bad actually, because sometimes your idea, the more that you, the longer that you have your idea, sometimes you start to not like it or get less passionate about it. But if you're moving quickly with it and you have a short amount of time, you might be able to be more passionate about your idea. So I started my project during COVID, which affected definitely like working on the project and communication. I kind of felt, I think, detached from the class at first because I wasn't in person in the class. This last quarter, finishing up my senior project in person, even though I only had to show up for class once a week, it was nice to go and have that in person experience. Um, yeah, so a suggestion that I have is you you want to keep communication open between yourself and Dr. Cannon. It was good. Talking through Slack and doing Zoom was good in the beginning. It was nice that, when you show up to class on Fridays, like in person, my last quarter doing my senior project, where I could just go up and ask a question, or if I wanted to go to office hours, I could walk in the office hours and say, hello or something. So, yeah, communication is a really big part of the project. And if you have a question, make sure you ask it. If you're a little behind, don't be afraid. It it happens. You'll catch up. It's all good. So another thing I should suggest is talk to Dr. Cannon about your senior project. That's important to do. She has a lot of good advice. Also, talk to other people about your senior project. They may be able to help you or give some input, even like, talking to it with your friends and family. That also, the more people you talk to, it seems like you'll get more interested or excited about your project and be more involved with it. Something else that I think worked well was having a check in with Dr. Cannon to go over like halfway through the quarter or something to go over with how your senior project is going. think that I think that happened more during COVID. I don't think that happened this last quarter, at least in the senior project class, because it was in person. You didn't really have to do that as much. But I think it was actually good to maybe incorporate that in because then you can get feedback on your project and Dr. Cannon can look at your project and say if you need to work on anything or that there's some weaknesses and just make sure that you're on track and you're doing okay. You never want to be afraid to ask for help. There's always a ton of people who want to help you, and whenever you tell someone that you're working on a senior project, they usually actually are more interested in helping you